Welcome back to another Alliance War video. We have 4 Loki versus Iso8a. This is war number 2, season 41, and these guys are shellers, so this is the Alliance they are in this season, and next season it'll be somebody else. So they banned Herc, Torch, and Omega Red. So let's take a look at Mini Island, and they have a Terrax boss that they place, which nowadays is really just Absman food. Legacy will be taking that, so you can look out for his video when it comes out. Mephisto on 54, pretty good placement, but you could just send a void there. Killmonger, you can use quite a few champions because it's on Conflictor. You don't want to armor break him necessarily, but CGR works. Guardian can work. We're going to use Professor X, Hulkling, Scorpion food there. Even with the global, he shuts him down and just milks all his specials. Quicksilver in the middle. You can use Rolk, Ghost, work really well. Just want to play his evade for Rolk. And future Ant-Man on Safeguard. That one you can use a long Gallon fight. I think Valkyrie may work, or just use one of the Magnetos and max pacify, and you're set. Dragon Man, Spidey 99, and it's all she wrote with AV for the Wither. And Spot, just send a Fury or a Professor X for that fight, and it's just cake. Lags will be taking that as well. So let's get into my fights now. Now, before we look at my fights, I had to wait until the my mini was open. Just made sense boosting wise, and part of that was having Andrew just run amok with a Ghost. And you see here I'm excited, we planned together along with Steve, and he got a bunch of Ghost fights, and I'm just dropping some Ghost love here, and he just says this needs to stop because he doesn't want any more Ghost fights. I don't know, it's up to him. But starting with my fight first, we got Misty on path 1. This node basically has some regen that kicks on when you stand too close to Misty, but basically it's really non-existent. I'm running mutant boosts for all my fights together, and the plan here is just to beta heavy. I don't want to parry her because I don't want to give her cryo charges. The other charges grant her evade. A chance to evade, but Professor X shuts that down. So I'm just going to heavy counter to build my mind control. And you see here she gets the regen. I really don't care. I think when she procs a certain amount of regens, she'll get like a Fury, which again, I really don't care. I'm just going to do this so her SB1 is not unblockable. I can dex it, but this is war, and I'm just not going to do anything that I don't need to do. So at this point, I'm just going to use my falter here to get a long heavy charge and get my mind control up. And at this point, the fight's basically won. I'm like, okay, she's already down 50%. I'm debating actually whether I trigger mind control naturally or manually and just end it, but I get kind of cornered here, so I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to go red right here. I decided to use my falter to go red and get to 100, and then that's it. So this fight was just essentially an X ramp. Since I am taking a mini boss on Mini Island, I needed to get a few X fights under his belt to ramp up, and that's what this is. And the next fight, I have a Void on Masochism. So obviously Professor X doesn't sound like a Void counter. He doesn't shrug any debuffs or anything like that, but I will be using a White Magneto pre-fight for that Void. And the plan basically is I can parry, and I won't trigger Masochism over time. And I'm gonna parry heavy twice. I'll be at a combo of 2, and then I'm going to do a 5-hit combo, which would put me at 7. And that should line up with his debuff beginning to proc, depending on how passive or how aggressive his AI. That's essentially what, when I dueled, what was supposed to happen. So, but plan here basically is just to get over anywhere between 50 to 75 at least, in that range of my control charges. I have a Power Start 1 boost here, because I want to be at a special 3 as soon as possible. So there you get I get my 7-hit combo. You see he's going to proc his debuff, and I shrug it with the combo. I block the first hit of the SB2, and I'm like, all right, perfect. This couldn't have gone any better. And at this point, I could have used my falter to heavy charge into a longer mind control, but it really didn't matter. I was already red and I was over the 50 mark, and so I'm gonna throw this SB3, and it's not going to feed me 3 bars. I'm running 150% boost, power back boost, so it didn't give me the full SB3 because I'm not fully ramped, but you see that the SB2 kills, so it doesn't really matter. And next up, I'm on path 3 with this Nimrod. So I had to rank up my Nebula for this, and she's at rank 3 now. And basically, I'm still running the Power Start 1 boost because I killed Void so quickly. And the plan here, basically, I'm just gonna hold. Heavy, or hold block, I mean, to ramp up my amps just to get him over 5. And I want to be careful that I don't get cornered. So I'm at 13 now, and now I'm hitting him to build power. I'm at an SB2. I'm like, perfect. I want to control spacing though, because I do want to build up to 20. Ideally he throws his special 1. I'm just going to block it all. I still am running max recoil because this is my only Nebula fight, but here he throws special 1. I'm like, perfect. I'm at 20, and now I want to wait till that timer resets, because that's his armor up timer, and I don't want it to I don't want him to proc an armor and glance my SB2, so I'm looking at the timer while I do a combo, and I time it so the shocks double, and you see him tick down and die. So that went rather well. And now for my last fight, I am fighting this Killmonger on 51. It's Conflictor, and I have 3 persistent charges at this point, so I'm not really worried. The thing that I want to do on this fight, I do have a white Magneto pre-fight, so I can parry without Conflictor triggering, is I want to parry medium heavy, so I don't trigger the prowess puncture. Now you see that I do that, but I fought Killmonger so much on path 5 that he throws his special 1 right here, and then I heavy counter, because that's just like automatic autopilot, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go medium, light, medium, and then I'm gonna heavy. I'm just gonna alternate this in case I can heavy counter again. And there, I was still flustered about the prowess puncture, so I was like, what did I do last? I was like, you know what? I'm all right. Just kind of reset, medium, and then here, I'm almost at 100. I'm kind of building power. I'm not too really worried about Killmonger right now. I'm like, all right, I'm at 100, heavy charge, and I'm gonna throw this special 3, and that's all she wrote. So Killmonger does take a few SB3s right here. So I didn't even check to see if he was rank 5. I don't think he's rank 5, but he's definitely kind of a beefier, has some resistances, because usually 2 would definitely kill a non-boss unless they have a super high health pool. But that is it for my war. This last SB3 will end it. Short war for me, but ultimately it was a good war. We did manage to get the win, and my battle group ended up getting a donut. So if we look at my battle group stats right now, let's take a look at that. So you see here, we did get a donut on the second war. Always feels good. As the war started out, we did die a few times at the beginning, and I don't know who this is. I guess he was in alliance with some of my alliance mates, but I guess he was having fun that we died. But if you take a look at the final stats, they died quite a bit more than us. So we had 4 deaths, so solid war from us. We could have a few back, but it's okay. It's early in the season, and let's take a look at the MVPs. Shout out to Karate Mike, Andrew, and the B Manny for getting MVP, and GG's to Iso8a, or whatever you guys will be next season. See you guys in the next one.